Can you hear me? Oh my gosh, I've been talking this whole time. I was just watching some videos of some other live streamers doing the exact same thing. I am so sorry. So sorry. So. Can you guys hear me now? Can you hear me? Give me a thumbs up. Give me a heart. Give me a 1. Give me something that shows that you can hear me. I feel horrible on that. Okay, good. Oh my gosh. I'm in the zone doing my analysis, and you're hearing me ramble about all these fair value gaps, and so sorry guys. Okay, let me give you the short and short. I've put all of these fair value gaps on here because I really haven't identified what my bias is still. The thing that I like the most is us filling this opening range gap, which is yellow. This is the opening range gap. So if we select regular trading hours, sorry, I don't want to do it on that one. If we select regular trading hours, you're going to see this gap right here, this yellow area, and it closes right around this area here. And that overlaps with this 5-minute, this swing high, and this breaker. Now the breaker on the 5-minute, we're just going to write it on the 5-minute. So this is our breaker right here, which we just tagged. Shoot. We literally just tagged the breaker. But we have not grabbed this swing high yet. Buy side liquidity is sitting right here. So we have the buy side liquidity right there. News has not dropped yet. News is at 10 o'clock, and we're waiting for news to take place. This is an aggressive expansion right now, so I really want price to find some support here before I just take something. Okay, so that just purged this. Let's see how it reacts with the swing high. The last two levels that I have, because I might have to change my bias, guys. This is why I said I didn't have a clear bias. Here's our 15-minute. We just tagged into the 15-minute. And on top of that, we really haven't seen any inversions that we can play off of. There really hasn't been any clear inversions for us to target. Now we're up in the fourth quadrant, or the highest quadrant, above 75% of this swing high to this swing low. I am interested in seeing how price finds support here on this 5-minute, and then on this lower time frame 1 minute, I'd look for a lower time frame breaker model. So a high, low, higher high, and break lower, and look at taking that short to these equal lows here. So these equal lows are of interest, and the larger time frame equal lows here are also of interest. So there's nothing abundantly clear for me, other than it's clear that we have some buy-side aggression. Here's 5-minute fair value gap. This is the last fair value gap on the 5 and 15-minute until we hit the high. So if we're going to find resistance, it has to be right here. If we don't, it's just going to run for these highs. And the only way I would take a play like that to run those highs would be if we leave a bearish fair value gap behind like this, and then we inverse it to go higher. But we would have to have an aggressive candle lower, and then an aggressive candle inversing that fair value gap to then run higher. That'd be my only analysis that I'd be looking at for a higher move. I'm not going to take this move higher here. And price didn't even this price action here. Price action did not hit this breaker that was sitting right here. This low, high, lower, low. So really no reason on what that's happening. All right, so let's remove this quadrant. We know where we're sitting right now. Let's clean up some of these charts here. The 5 and 15-minute. The 15-minute fair value gap is probably, I showed you guys the 4-hour here. The 4-hour is really telling. If we're not going to close in the next 10 minutes below this fair value gap, below the 4-hour, I think it's clear that we probably push higher. Or we may consolidate because we've just had a huge expansion move. So those are my thoughts in regards to not knowing exactly what direction we're going to go from a higher time frame analysis. Here's what I do know on on the daily though. Like, I don't want to go higher unless we grab liquidity or liquidity below this low and rebalance this daily fair value gap. Because we have this nice expansion higher. So look what happened here. We run lower and then we expand higher. What do we do right here? We rebalance this daily fair value gap before the move higher. Look right here. Here's a daily fair value gap that was made from this expansion. What happens the next day? We retrace into the fair value gap to expand higher. A high probability expansion higher must fill or stab into this daily fair value gap. This is why my conviction can't be for running for all-time highs. I can't do it because, I mean, it can do it. Price could run, and it could run without me, and I'm totally fine with that. But for me to find a high probability setup to go long, I need it to come into here. So I personally would rather play short, and because of how aggressive we are early in the morning before the news, I think we could have an aggressive move lower. And I would be targeting the sell side right here. So sell side liquidity is sitting right there. So this breaker obviously is not playing out. So we're going to get rid of that breaker. Buy side, it just got ran through. This 5-minute, let's go to the 5-minute here. This 5-minute just got closed through, so we're going to get rid of that. The opening range gap got closed through. We're going to close that. We still have the hourly. Let's see where the hourly closes. And then we still have I'm sorry, my throat. I need to grab a drink of water, guys. I'm sorry, guys. Sorry, I just like really groggy here. All right, so look where the 5 minute closed. 5 minute closed below the 5 minute fair value gap. We stabbed above it. And then for the 15 minute, we still have 3 minutes that we have here. If we do decide to take a long, it's going to be a scalp type play, like I told you before. It's going to be something that looks like this, right? Right? We have a nice pullback to a level like this, and then we inverse it. So when we inverse that level, I would look at a scalp for 10, 15 handles. Especially with my style of trading, which I don't really try to take a huge move. You can play against trends. It doesn't have to be with the trend for 10 points. That's what I like about NQ. You can get 10 handles pretty much anywhere. But today today's Friday, and we really want to make sure that we are protecting the profit that we've made so far. So we have two contradictory facts that are sitting in front of me right now. We have these equal lows here, relatively equal lows in the fair value gap that I shared before, right? We have this fair value gap. Hang on. There we go. So this this is rough, guys. I'm so sorry. So I have two contradictory facts. We have these equal lows, but then we also have this hourly that is about to inverse this. This is a bullish signal. This is a nice BPR. So this is a bullish sign for a higher move. That's just what it is. So the 932, where are we at? Right here. So I looked at this. This candle didn't actually come down and tick this swing high, because that would have been a breaker. You see that? So that would have been my breaker. And, and it didn't tag it. What it did find, it did do this level here. So what is that on the 5 minute? We got that on the 5 minute. I would have never taken this though. I would have never taken this as an entry. It is a market maker buy model, and that makes sense that it came back down for a reaccumulation right here. But that's not my entry. I try to get my entry down here. This is too high for me at the point for my model where I don't take it, because I've seen it reverse, and I'm still learning my models. All right, so there's the 9:30 candle, or the 10 o'clock candle, and I like that aggression. We did close above the 1 hour, so I don't know how effective this downplay will be, but that's really, I am interested in this. Let's let the jitters get out of this candle. Now, so we have the hourly close, and we're having a major reaction to the downside. This could be an inversion for the move higher. So we have to be very careful on this breaker right here. I really like this breaker, and I want to play it. I just need to see how it reacts right here. I like how it took out most of this fair value gap. Even if it takes out more of it, that'd be better, because then there's less of a fair value gap that we play for the inversion to the upside. I haven't taken this. Why? Because of this hourly. This hourly is what I'm watching. Reason why. We tagged into this 1 hour as well. I want to see where this starts closing. If this finds resistance, if this small fair value gap finds resistance, then I would consider going short there. And that's a great reaction.
Order filled.
All right, I took that. Let's see what happens here. All right, so my entry was right here. And 10 handles. We should grab this low right here into this. I'm going to take profit there. That's 10 handles. And that's my win. That's all I wanted today, guys. That is all I wanted. I wanted to preserve my profits, and I wanted to take an entry and get my money and get out. We are in... The reason I'm not convinced on this down play is because we just inversed this giant 1 hour. And that's the main reason why I'm not holding. But we just got our win. We just got our win. So I got in on my entries on MNQ were 19,619, and I sold at 607. So actually 12 handles is what I got on that play. You see how it stopped? See how it's not as aggressive? I'll take those 10 and get out, especially if we are bullish. If we are bullish. Okay, so two reasons why I ended up taking that. One, this body closed below this breaker. The next candle wicked up, filled this fair value gap, and then closed below the breaker. When that second candle closed below the breaker, that's when I got in. I felt that was my opportunity. If it was going to move, it would be right there. Gave me 10 handles, and I got out. Since then, we've been 2 minutes, and we haven't made a lower low. And it's absolutely could still just run lower. But I'm guessing we find some support right here in this fair value gap. Did you guys hear that entry? I'm pretty sure I have the sound up so you guys hear that entry, or at least on my microphone. You should have it. You should have it there. So I'm glad I got out. I'm glad I got out because of this inversion of the 1 hour. This 1 hour fair value gap was inversed right here. More than likely, we come to and tag one or two of these swing highs. That's what I would think would happen. But we need to find price to support that. Oh my gosh. I was going to say if we closed above that, I would take that. But that happened so fast. Let's see how this reacts here. We really can't have it run these wick highs for the model. The 1 minute. The 1 minute's still valid too. Okay, so this is a breaker right here. We closed above this fair value gap. I'm indecisive at the moment, guys. Well, look at that. This 30-second just failed. It broke above it and then failed immediately. This This might not be bad with these equal lows right here. You got equal lows right here.
Order filled. Order filled.
All right, I just played that inversion down to the downside. Short played out better. It looks like that's the direction we want to go. So that was, what did I get? How many handles on that one? Let's see, 612 was my entry, and 606 is my exit. So 6 handles. Right, I got out right when we broke the low. Right when we broke the low. That was just really aggressive on this 30-second right here. We closed, and then we were 6 handles away. I was looking just for a stab in between lower, and that's what I took. So that's 2 for 2 for today. 12 handles, and then 6 handles. So we got 18 handles total on the day. Looks like the buy sides are playing out more than the other bullish sides, which doesn't make sense because we've inversed this 1 hour. We do have these equal lows here though. I mean, like I said, that is any long run is sus. It just is because we have these equal lows. That's my logic at least. And not only equal lows, but we need to stab in this daily fair value gap. We need to rebalance this fair value gap to some degree. So we came back up high, low, higher, high. We break lower. This is our bearish breaker. This is our bearish breaker here. And we've come into that twice. We did close above it here. So price is a little sloppy, but we still found a reaction from that. And it looks like prices want to move lower. All right, I'm looking to see if we're gonna grab liquidity here and if we want to continue higher. I'm not ignoring that we inverse this 1 hour and we're at all-time highs. I'm not ignoring that. We do have sell side and we do have equal lows down here that really have my attention. So right now the order flow, even though it's bearish right now, we haven't been respecting PD arrays. We disrespected this PD array here, which is, I don't like that. We disrespected the breaker a little bit. Don't like that. But since then, we haven't had any additional fair value gaps. If we inverse this, my question is, are we going to do the same thing here? Is it choppy, right? Honestly, if we inversed it right now, I'm not going to take it because I want to see this low grabbed. And I've already seen a disrespect here once for a bearish move lower. So this is, if it's going to do it, I want it to give me another opportunity. I want to go here, find some support, and then continue. But on this first stab, I'm probably not going to take it because it's sus for me. Right now, I mean, I think the draw on liquidity should be these equal lows, but here's a bearish order block. Let's see how price respects that. Next place would be the consequent encroachment of the wick of the order block, which is right here. So it looks like we're going to inverse this 1 minute. I'm not interested in that. It could absolutely work, but I don't know. The downside has worked more for me right now. Okay, so there's the tag. It did work out. It did play out. If you're wondering what I'm actually referring to, this close above this fair value gap right here, this would have been your entry. Your stop would have been a close below. You would have been targeting these swing highs for either moving your stop to break even or taking profit or taking a partial and targeting some higher highs. You also have it here on the 30-second, which 30-second looks way better. 30-second looked way better because of where it closed. Still would not have taken it, but it closed closer to the fair value gap. Your stop would have been at break even here, and you could have taken profit here, could have taken some profit here, and then targeting these relatively equal highs. Okay, so that closed above on this 30-second. I expect some type of drawdown or retracement here. Okay. So the 1 minute, or the 1 hour, let's look at the 1 hour here. The 1 hour came back down to the consequent encroachment of this 1 hour, and then we're seeing it bounce from there. There's the consequent encroachment. It's basically stopped right at that and has moved higher. we're probably going to run these highs here. We rebalanced this small 1 minute. And if we're on a buy program, which this looks like it, we should just push for these highs. This would be the high. We're tagging the 30-second again right here. Tag. One minute is right here. We're still in that 1 minute fair value gap sitting right here. Low, high, lower, low. This would be considered a breaker. I mean, it's not very high probable for me because we didn't grab liquidity. So just for the sake of education, I'm going to take that off because it's not really anything. So we tagged into 30-second. We respected this 1 minute. We should push right up into this. We should push right into that. All right, so there was a momentum play down into this fair value gap, up into these highs with a nice push. So that if you got in at this candle here, that would have been 10 handles. That would have been 10 handle, 15 handle move right there. You could target these data highs. We have the 10 o'clock data high sitting right here. If you're wondering why I didn't take it, I mean, I'm up 18 handles on the day. So I'm being a little more protective. And I'm not just going to take a momentum play. Even though that was a high probability, we inversed the 30-second, we found support at the 30-second. I mean, this really is a textbook type of entry right here on the 30-second. We didn't grab the liquidity. If you missed your opportunity on an entry, you could have got in back here when it found support here and then take it. Now this is a higher quality breaker right there. But it didn't grab the liquidity down here, so it's not my entry. Big SMT on those lows. You know what? I don't do SMTs that much, and I know I need to do them more. That wouldn't surprise me. All right, so SMT he's referring to probably, let's see, is right here. So we have our low here that I was looking on NQ to be ran by this level here. And it ran not only that low, but then I'm wondering on a lower time frame if we have a little setup here too. No, that would have been the only one. Yeah, that would have been a large SMT there. All right, so the data highs were tagged right there. That was the big move right there, disguised by all of this downside action that we played, which I played that. But because we inversed this 1 hour, this is what I'm saying now. That 1 hour was telling that something was happening on the upside. Maybe that's it. Maybe it goes for these swing highs here. But my confirmation entry that was the most obvious to me was this 30-second right here. This would have been the most obvious, with an entry back when it was coming back into the 30-second. Man, if price is just going to do this back and forth, man, and it gives me a nice entry for a breaker right here, I'll consider that. Now that we grab those highs. Okay, it's not as clear on the 1 minute. This is a 30-second. I don't like the close of that candle, how aggressive it was. Still could just tag up into that and go lower.
Order filled. Order submitted.
No, I'm not liking that. It's not going where I want. Let's see right here. I'm keeping a tight stop loss on this.
Order filled.
Okay. On that little stab, I took some. Not sure if it wants to continue higher or not because of, again, this 1 hour. Okay, so it ended up grabbing this liquidity right here. Let's see, what did I, from 30 to 25 handles. I'll take 5 handles. I'll take 5 handles, my friends. That puts me up 20 handles, a little over 20 handles, 21, 22 handles on the day. And I hit my profit targets for all. I hit my profit targets for using a mini, and I did them all on micros. So that is going to be. That's going to be it. Is that 3 for 3? That's it. That's all we're doing today. I'm closing those accounts. right now. All right, so what did I take on that one? I took this breaker. It is my model. I have to consider that. So as soon as we wicked into this fair value gap, that's when I got in. The 30-second, let me see here. Yep, I got in on the close of that. So my entry was at 30. My entry was right around here. I wanted a stop, so I was watching this fair value gap right there. And then my target really, I was right there. So it was a small move. Not my favorite. Not my favorite. The main reason why I probably didn't hold is just because I have profit and I don't want to lose the profit that I've made today. So I didn't exercise patience on that trade because, as you can see, it's now working out in my favor and it could run even more. I would say right now, guys, for me personally in my trading, that's my biggest struggle. Is if I have a loss, I don't want to hold too long because I don't want to exasperate my losses. If I have wins, I don't want to lose the wins that I have. So my psychology is incorrect on some of these pullouts that I've taken. And it's incorrect because I should have a standard. If my model shows up, I let the model play out. And I have the data to show it that you typically will see 10 to 20 points. And there's the 20 points right there if I would have just held it. That would have been a lot more on just one instead of waiting for multiples. So this is my area of growth that I need to excel in. I'm just being bluntly honest with you guys. That is my biggest area of growth right now, is being willing to do more mechanical trading and holding it for longer plays. I mean, that is what top traders do, is they hold for these big moves. And that is where I know I need to get. And I think a lot of my profits from the day and this week, I just wanted to end on a positive note. I wanted to end positive. So even though it's a win, I didn't follow my rules exactly. And this literally was a textbook setup. If I'm honest, I was scared. I was scared of losing the money that I've made and did not want it to run against me. Now, what could I have done? I freaking could have moved my stop to break even and just said, all right, stop's at break even. I've saved my money. Now let's see what happens with price. And if I get stopped out, honestly, that's what I should have done, but I didn't even think about that. So when I journal today, that's really probably what I'm going to journal. And even this little monologue right here is helping me out a little bit. All right, take my entry, and as soon as it moves away, instead of taking profit, move my stop to break even. Now, when I get to the point, I do know this. I'm giving myself a little bit of a break here. When I do multiple contracts, so the account that I'm personally trading and then I'm copying to is one of my funded accounts that's been in drawdown. And I just have it, I've had it sitting there for a long time. And I want to start working its way out, because one of the skill sets in day trading that every trader has to master is clawing out of drawdown. Getting out of a place of drawdown back into the green. That is a skill set that when you've done it, it gives you so much more confidence that you can do it again, and drawdown isn't as detrimental to you. You know that you can get out of it when the time comes. And that would be my brother calling. Hang on, I'm going to jump on here with him in my headphones. Hey, let me I got you. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Ryan? He's there. Let me finish my thoughts though. So my one of my accounts that's in drawdown right now, so I'm using that as my primary account that I'm trading and I'm executing on. That's why I'm doing the micros. That's why I'm on the micros accounts, because I'm working on bringing that out of drawdown. Well, I'm using one single micro on that account, and then on all the other accounts, I'm doing multiple contracts. So I have some minis, I have some micros on 7 different accounts. But I'm focusing on just making that my center focus, because I want to get it out of drawdown, because it's such a skill set that needs to be instilled in every single trader. So I'm only trading one contract on that account. When I get to the place, which I should be here soon, where I'll do 2 contracts, I'll be able to sell one, and then I would be able to hold for a bigger move with the extra contract, which I didn't hear, obviously, because once I sell that one contract, it sells all my other ones. But if I have 2 contracts, I can sell one and then have a second to hold. So I'm giving myself a little bit of a break there when I do have larger size, but when I'm doing a single contract, 10, 5, 10, 15 handles is the bread and butter to build a solid foundation on. I'm just looking at this and just kicking myself that I couldn't have held it for a longer move. And targeting here, that would have been 40 points. 40 points right there, my friends. Oh. What's up? What's up? I'm on Discord right now. Oh, there you are. So you're hearing my no, I missed the up move. Well, I called out the up move on this 30-second at 10:08:30 when it ticked back into it at 10:20. But I didn't take it because I was already up 16 handles from 2 other moves. So yeah, the 10. I really like this breaker. I played this break to the downside, but I only took 6 handles on it, and I was just talking about all that. Puh, downside was the move. Well, upside and downside was the move. Yeah, price is moving decent. It's disrespecting some of these levels a little bit, but overall it's been decent price action. So did you walk away with some cash, or would you walk away with points wise? Yeah, we have a nice SMT here, guys. From that swing high down. That's a nice SMT there. That would have been an extra confirmation on that SMT for a move lower with that breaker. So that would have been extra confirmation on my end that I could have looked at. Not right now. No. Yeah, I'm kicking myself in the butt for this breaker. Even though I walked away with a win and I'm up 22 handles on the day, this would have been, this is what I wait for. This is what I wait for. Sitting, just watching for 45 minutes, being disciplined, not taking a trade. This is what I wait for. And then I go and blow it like that. No, I mean, it's still in the breaker. So the 30-second, it's the 1027 candle. When it wicked up into that fair value gap, when it closed, that was my entry. You have an SMT up there, a beautiful breaker, you have a fair value gap, and I sold right before the lows. Yeah. On accident, though. You accidentally quadrupled your size. That was. I'm liking this. Order block. This bullish order block right here. I want to see if price holds right here, or this bearish order block. A series of up close candles. We should find some resistance here if we're in a market maker sell model right now, which it looks we have the structure for a market maker sell model. That's where I'd want to see it turn right here. No, I'm still looking at 30-second and 1 minute. Or these two up close candles. Nice. That sounds very smart. All right, we're coming up on 10:45, the macro time. We should start seeing something take place around here. I want to see what price does. I'm bearish. I want these equal lows that go into the daily fair value gap. That is my target. I want to see that take place. We still find some resistance here, and we have, let's see, is that one? Do we got a 2 minute there? We have a nice 2 minute fair value gap for an inversion to the downside in 39 seconds. Let's see if it leaves it. This 1 hour inversion really messed with me here. This 1 hour inversion, because if it still wants to go, I mean, technically the 1 hour structure still is bullish. Guys, I think I'm gonna call it a day. I'm done. I'm not trading anymore. That's why I'm a little more relaxed. So I'm gonna call it a day. I'll be here back on Monday. We'll see you guys here next week. Thanks for watching, and